Well, Ismael Ahmed, a member of the APC BOT, is still with us in the studio. Now, before we went on break, you're talking about, sitting at a particular point. What you will see depends on where you sit. And I'm just wondering, from where you sit, you've used the word "if" in this entire conversation. What do you think are the political permutations for some of these actions that have taken place?
Look, a lot of people that I know and that I have seen were excited with the suspension. Not necessarily because it was the SGF or it was BD Lawal, but because they felt they loved the president or the administration a lot more than the office or the person of the SGF. So that move alone kind of restore a lot of confidence in the fact that this fight against corruption was one of the fundamental principles upon which we were going, which we were elected in the first place, was kind of vindicated. A lot of people felt vindicated. So I think, politically speaking, for the optics and for so many other reasons, I think that needed to happen, for this investigation to go on, and for this warning to go around that, look, no one is a sacred cow in this campaign.
That was a suspension, but looking at it from the angle of the Senate, you say that if the allegations are true, then perhaps he should really be sacked. If the allegations
if the allegations are true, he will be sacked. There's no doubt about that.
But you say that that if was predicated.
Yes, that was before the final report came out. That was when the interim report came out, when I was in this program. I said, yeah, I think he should have resigned if it is true, if he knows, because if it is true, he will know. We probably wouldn't know because these are just allegations. The report came out. I said, if it was true, he should resign and save the government and the president the embarrassment of going through the whole hog of all this. But, of course, he maintained his innocence. He maintained the fact that he was not invited. He wasn't given a fair hearing. And then the president said, okay, fine, now give me a full report. Yeah. And in doing that, invite him and let him speak.
I ask you why you say if, because, what interest would the Senate have? Shouldn't we take whatever it is that comes out from the Senate as the truth and nothing but the truth?
I don't think could be. You could take that, but like I told you, in politics have taught us a lot of things. It needs a lot of verification, and it's going on. The president have taken a step toward that, and let's leave it at that.
What would be some of the political considerations on the part of the Senate?
No, I don't think there's any political consideration right now. I don't know if there is any, but I said you can never rule it out. You can never ever rule it out with anyone. So I'm not saying that there is. The Senate did its job, and even at that time, I thought it was a good report. As far as I was concerned, I thought it was a good report, and I thought that the SGF should have taken it way seriously rather than just say that they were saying balderdash. I thought he should have stepped up a lot more forcefully to prove his innocence. If there was any, I thought he should have done that.
You are no stranger to Nigerian politics. You have seen a situation whereby most times the security agencies accuse people of having done certain things.
That's right.
They would always find political considerations as to why they're being harassed, in their own words, or embarrassed, in their own words. And we've seen that over and over again. Could there have been anything political in this, investigation carried out by the Senate?
I don't think what started. I think it was a genuine cry for what was going on in the Northeast that drove the Senate to set up an ad hoc committee to look at it. Yes, a lot of people would have imputed a lot of things. At that time, there was a lot of debate whether or not this was political, whether it was the Senate trying to get back at the president or the executive for what it felt was hounding it. There were a lot of debate going back and forth. I didn't pay much attention to that. It's not something that you can completely rule out, but at the same time, I think the interim report that came out, and the ones that I saw and what I read, I think we're good enough for anyone to have taken that report seriously.
Ideally, at the heart of this, I mean, if that really was the reason why the Senate set up this committee, you know, there ought to be concern for the people, for the plight of the people in the Northeast, who this, you know, this presidential initiative was meant to address. What do you think should be happening right now with that particular initiative of the presidency?
Oh, you mean the pine?
The pine.
I think they should do what they're set up to do. Everything should go to the beneficiaries that is intended to. Any cutting of corners should have consequences.
Should it be reconstituted?
I don't know. I think it's the way it's constituted is fine the way it is right now.
How better do you think the activities can be monitored?
Well, I think the National Assembly have an oversight because they give them money. There's federal allocation coming from the federal government. So the National Assembly has an oversight, and there are a lot of NGOs moving up and down. They should keep an eye on it as well.
Let's go to Lagos now, and let's take a question from my colleagues.